Post 1, March 16th, 2010. Did anyone else play The Sims when they were young? It was such a fantastic game. Wasn't it so much fun to have a wife, husband, kids, a job, and a jacuzzi in your bedroom? Good times. Anyway, I have this weird problem with my game, and I was hoping one of you guys could solve it. So I recently got off the game from eBay for about $1.20. There wasn't really that many bidders, and I was willing to pay a lot to bring back the old childhood memory. After I installed the game, I immediately launched it. After playing the tutorial, it reminded me of the game's controls. I made a sim, I called him David, and gave him the cancer personality. Then I moved on with him a lot. I made him cute, a little bungalow, and gave him the only medical career. On the 7th sim day, I finally got him to marry a sim called Truce. Things were going well, and by the 11th sim day, my sim had 2 children, Matt and Lisa. On the 15th day, David was at work and the kids were in school. Truce was the only one in the house, and her hunger levels were low, so I decided to make her cook dinner. Just as she was cooking, David arrived and he went over to his wife to greet her, and the next thing you know, the oven was on fire. Upon setting the alight, the flames instantly spread and engulfed the Truce. By the time the fireman arrived, Truce was already a pile of ash. After the firemen extinguished the flames, a box came out saying that Truce died in the fire. I was frustrated by this, but I carried on with my game. Strangely, instead of doing the obvious things, such as taking a shower, cook a meal, etc., in free will state, all he would do was just mourn, of course. As if I were command him to do something, he would do it. But when he goes straight back to mourning afterwards, the kids wouldn't do the same thing though. And by the time it was night, I sent all my Sims to bed. At 0:36, I heard David scream. I set to normal speed and went up to him. He was in bed tossing and turning, and he was doing the horrible scream. I set him as to my active sim to check in his activity. Instead of him showing a picture of his bed with the word sleep, there was a picture of his wife. When I highlighted in the picture, the only word truce came up. I tried to cancel it, but I couldn't do anything. Other than just watch him scream in his sleep, I haven't seen this before, and I was puzzled. Regardless, I felt bad for him. I mean, he lost his wife. It's natural for him to see him do this. Well, in real life, it would be true, but The Sims, not in real life. If any of you guys have encountered this problem or have a solution, please contact me. Thanks. Post 2, March 17th, 2010. Thanks for the feedback, but none of your suggestions have worked. The same thing happened today, mourning all day and screaming at night. I would have also noticed when my sim is in a nightmare state, his fun, comfort, and social bar will be always plummeted. I've always sent the guy who gave me a copy of the via private message, but he hasn't replied. Keep sending solutions, though I might find one that works. Thanks. Post free, March 19th, 2010. Okay, after this post, I'm closing this topic. I just can't take any more of this. So on the 18th day, I woke up and just sort of stood there, just twitching and shaking. His mood bars were static, but I was commanded to do something. The game would instantly cancel the activity. When I hit the 20, he started walking. Well, when I say walk, I mean he would stumble awkwardly, as if he was in the freezing cold or being watched. He went up to Matt and grabbed him. He screamed in horror as David dragged him to his bedroom and threw him on the bed. My eyes widened when I saw David pull out a knife, a kitchen knife. He pounced on Matt and started swinging the blade back and forth into Matt's chest. Blood was being splattered in all directions, and you could see David pulling Matt's intestines out. Matt's scream was now a faint mumble. David stood up from the bed as Matt's body twitched and bled. Suddenly I realized about Lisa. When I activated her, the plumb bob just went to the cupboard, and all activities said that she was hiding. I saw David go for the cupboard and paused. Then the screen went to black and my game crashed. My desktop background had changed to pictures of Matt and Lisa, which were in black and white. I'm going to uninstall the game tomorrow, and I want to thank everyone for their suggestions. I'm not sure whether I can say or play a Sims game again. And that, my little pretties, was The Sims. A Sims creepypasta or gaming pasta. My final thoughts on this story? This story, I'm gonna say, is actually a super old one. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I kind of remember, hearing about this story from, from Seabass. He narrated this about a year ago. Now, this story is like an older story, but I definitely would have to say it's basically a game that basically, has the protagonist, building his own, Sims world. But this David person, goes crazy all of a sudden and kills, Matt, who is one of the kids in the story after Truce's death. I have a feeling he's gone, completely mad at that point. So that's probably why, David acted the way he did in this story. Now, the build-up of this story was cliched. Obviously, with the protagonist finding a game, buying the game online, and then, there was no hyper-realistic blood or gore or anything like that. The grammar was pretty good for what it is, as well as the sentence structuring. But I really wish there was more built up. Like, the story, to be completely honest, this is definitely something I didn't really care for. Now, I don't like this story. Like, I don't hate it or anything. I think this is somewhat of an okay story. Now, yeah. Like, I could see why a lot of people really don't like it. Like, here's the thing. Sims can't stab other Sims. It's pretty pointless to make a story like that. Unless it's a mod or something. Now, yeah, I know this story was written in 2010, but, I'm not crazy on this story. I'm being completely honest. But, first we got, the pointless blood and gore and, violence. It doesn't really make any sense. Obviously, brought this game off eBay. That's one of the cliches I do know that were added into the story. And hell, a lot of people really don't like this story. It did have somewhat of a decent startup, but it just fell flat. It just went downhill. That's the main reason. Is this story built up, had somewhat of a good concept, but then it went downhill. That's the main reason why I don't care for this story. Now, this is an okay story, but then when it got to, the ending, it sucked. Like that. Like, there's no built up as to why David did the things he did. It's just not there. There's no reasons of why David, in the Sim character David in this story, did the things that he did. There's no reason for why certain things happened the way they did. That is honestly a reason why this story went downhill, and I don't blame people for doing so. Oh, okay. Now, I don't know who the original author of this story is, so if the author manages to find this story, if he or she has a YouTube account, they can let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to give them proper credit. But this story was just not that great. That's honestly one of the main reasons why this story sucked at times. Now, that's just me. But maybe you guys might have your own different opinion, and feel free to state your opinion in the comments below. Now, like I'm going to say, This is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. I think I'm just gonna give this story a 4 out of 10. Mainly a 4 because it could have been better. Mainly what sucked about this story was the pointless blood and gore, the cliches that were in it, and I mean the grammar was good and same with the sentence structuring, but the first part of the story, it seemed like a decent build up, but then it went completely flat. Like it just went downhill from there, adding pointless stuff. I know this is an older story from 2010. Let me rephrase that. This is an older story from 2010. But I can understand why people don't like this story. So, I mean, I've seen the comments in the story where I found this. It's on the regular Creepypasta wiki, and I can honestly say I don't blame them for not liking this story. This story needs this story needs improvement. That's one of the things I can say. Anyways, what did you guys think about this game in Pasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.